Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So I'm reading today for Leo energy. So you can maybe Leo rising, Leo sun sign, you may have strong Leo in your chart, you may be connected with a Leo. It may resonate, it may not, but these are the messages that want to come through for pure Leo energy. Just a reminder that we're not one sign, we are a multitude of different signs. We have different planets in different places in our chart, so we're all a mix of all signs. So just take what resonates for your Leo placements and leave anything that doesn't for other people who may resonate with those messages more. Leos, what I'm kind of getting for you, I'm getting a lot of mermaids. They're very, very keen on using the mermaid deck. So the mermaid tarot, and then also, even though I don't want to use the good tarot today because it's awkward sizes with the other decks, just to kind of show you the difference in size. They're really, really pulling me to the good tarot, which again has mermaids in it. So I don't know if somebody really likes mermaids. I am getting child energy. So I don't know if some of you have a child who really likes mermaids. They show me the Little Mermaid. I almost started singing. Maybe they like singing. Maybe it's their favorite movie. But strong mermaid energy coming through, whatever that means, right? They're really giving me the Little Mermaid. Maybe some of you feel like somebody's taken away your voice, like you can't speak about, yeah, maybe this like silencing energy, maybe something to do with the courts. I'm just thinking of some messages that I got through for Libra. Libra had this kind of like, sorry, it's upcoming for Libra. I haven't done their reading yet, but I start to get messages for different signs and I take notes. I'm getting this thing for Libra about like, you can't handle the truth. So I don't know if it's something like, Leos, maybe you feel like somebody's keeping secrets around you, or they're asking you to keep a truth under wraps, like a little bit like NDA, I guess, but it doesn't feel like NDA. It feels more like almost like it's better if we don't say this. It's better if people don't know this. Let's just keep this to ourselves kind of energy for some of you. Not all of you, different things are coming through for different people. But there's some kind of disappointment or grief or a sense of loss. There's an emotional grieving that's happening apparently for you or somebody around you, because we have this Five of Water, which is the Five of Cups. She seems quite kind of distressed. She's letting all this stuff fall away. Maybe some of you have lost something in water, like lost a necklace in water or something like that. I don't know, it feels like something's been like pulled off you. I don't know, if some of you could have lost a piece of jewelry and you're really, really emotionally disappointed about that. You're grieving that loss of that jewelry. Perhaps it was special to you. It doesn't have to be jewelry. It could be an item that belonged to somebody else. You've lost it. You've disappointed. You're beating yourself up for it. I don't know, something trying to come through really, really strongly for you. Again, I'm getting like children. Some of you are also really affected by things that have been going on in the news. This seems like a bit of a cop-out to say because I think everybody's affected by it, but for some reason it's coming through for your reading. So things that have been in the news about children and grief is how I'm going to put it. Quite a big thing that happened, and it's shocking, and it should be shocking, and it's becoming less shocking and more, well, that happened again and normalized. So there could be a situation like that happening for you where it's like, this should be shocking, but I'm so used to it now that I've become numb to it. Others of you, it is specifically things that are happening in the news, and thinking about your own children or your own childhood, and like the things that, the environment that you raise them in, and whether or not, whether it's like something to do with like the innocence of children, the ability to play, again with the mermaid energy. It's like the ability to pretend you're a mermaid, right? And the ability to believe that life is a Disney movie until you get old enough to understand the complexities, where children having to deal with certain things too young is really quite, it should be distressing, right? It should be distressing. So there's things like that coming through. So again, if you're doom scrolling, Leos, if you're so let me just get that into so you can see it a little bit better. If you're on your phone, you're reading the news, you're reading every article, like doom scrolling, right? Kind of going deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole of the grief and the despair and the things that are happening in the news that are really disturbing. Yes, it's important to know about these things. No, you shouldn't be doom scrolling, right? It's not good for your mental health. Dig yourself back out that hole, break that habit, do something different. You know, read enough of the news to understand what's going on, but it's not effective, right? It's not effective for you to doom scroll and then maybe throw out one or two posts on social media. What is effective is for you to sign petitions or speak to your local counsellor or, you know, I don't know, get involved in a more active way than sitting there doom scrolling and just making a throwaway post on social media that, you know, everybody's making. So how can you be effective? Okay. All that from one card. Let's see what else we have for you. Lovely, lovely, lovely Leo. Some of you may want to move if you're in an area where you feel like it's not appropriate for your children, or some of you may want to move away from somewhere that you grew up as a child, or move back to somewhere that felt like, I'm getting somebody who moved around a lot. But it's like perhaps one specific place where you felt particularly at home, you like wanting to return to that. I had that returning home thing as a bit of a theme about a week and a half ago. Okay, Leos, Friday. 5 of Cups, exact same card. You can't make it up. Look, exact same card. It's called Water in this deck, but it is the 5 of Cups. Yeah, emotional disappointment, grief. Kind of a sad goodbye, loss. I am getting grief, like a loss. It could be a pet, it could be a person, it could be the grief of a lost situation. Finding it really hard to let go, finding it really hard to say goodbye, finding it really hard to move on from the grief, right? And I think we do carry it with us, right? I do think we carry loss and grief with us, especially because it's a sign that we loved someone or something or a situation, right? We loved something so much that it's really, really hard to not carry it with us. But how do we carry it with us in a way where it's not making us sink, right? It's not making us sink into our emotions. How do we swim? How do we swim with grief? Interesting way of putting it. Okay, and just to say, I've had quite a bit of loss this year myself, so I get it, right? I get it. I think focus on the love and not the loss is important. And it's hard to do because we lost our cat last week, like quite shockingly, quite suddenly, was not expected. She was otherwise really healthy, did not see it coming. And well, I did see it coming because the cards were telling me. I just didn't know what it was going to be until it happened. Yeah, so I went to close my daughter's bedroom window this morning, and I had that flash of, because the cat used to climb in through the bedroom window. I had that flash of, oh, can she still get in if I shut the window? And it's like, ow, it's still there. You know, those moments where you're still thinking as if they're there, you're still thinking as if they're going to ring you, you're still thinking as if they're, you know, going to walk through the door, and then you remember that they're not, and you have the ouch moment. Again, it doesn't have to be grief, or it doesn't have to be grief of a person, it could be a situation, you know. I miss that thing, I miss being in that workplace, I miss being in that home. But there's definitely this sense of emotional loss, or the loss of, like, feeling the loss of the collective as well. For those of you who are like doom scrolling, like feeling the grief, being empathetic, you know, understanding what people are going through, because you're engaging with their grief, right? The grief of others. Ace of Cups, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Unconditional love, yeah, they're not going anywhere. I think some of you can still feel, for those of you who have lost a person, I think you can feel that love around you. You can feel the connection is still there. And I do think sometimes, you know, like when you get those flashes of thinking you see that person walking into the room out the corner of your eye, I do think that's like their presence lingering. You know, I do think that there's life after loss. Yeah, having that love that's never going to go away, right? You don't want to get over it. You don't want to empty that cup out. You want to keep that cup full for that person, and that's okay and that's healthy. What you may have to do is expand your capacity to hold on to their love and let more love in, right? You don't have to empty that cup out to make room for a new person. You can keep that cup full and, you know, get a second cup for a different person, you know. But don't close off, right? Don't close off your capacity to love. Six of Swords, moving on. Justice card, Karma, Courts. What else do we have? So yeah, the King of Wands, beautiful. Really like how that ends. You end with your own energy. You end with yourself. Just be wary of any kind of deception, sneaky behavior, self-deception, those kinds of things could be going on around you. We'll pull clarifiers. Yeah, this is really good. This is coming back into balance, coming back into your own energy after suffering some kind of disappointment. So the thing about the Five of Cups is the 5 cups that are spilt over symbolize the thing that was lost, the grief, the disappointments, whatever those things are. And it could be disappointed because you didn't get a job, right? It doesn't have to be grief. But it's, yeah, it's like... These cups are spilt out, but there's 2 cups still standing. So it could be that these symbolize the people who are also in your life, who just make sure you're not forgetting about them. You know, they may need your attention. They may also be, you know, need some emotional support. While you're focused on whatever you're saying goodbye to, don't forget about these 2 cups that are still standing. It also symbolizes new relationships that are coming into your life that can support you. So again, just be aware that... it's like lift your head up, right? You can still continue to hold on to the happy memories and the good things that are in your past, while still lifting your head up and being aware what's in your present, what is actually in your surroundings. And I think you are going to see that there's love around you. There is emotional fulfillment available to you. For those of you who have felt a little bit empty, a little bit like you've been poured out, right? You've been poured out all over the floor. It's like there's so much love and abundance in the universe. Like this is universal love for me, unconditional love, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't deplete. It's always there. It's constant. Okay, so this is a resource that you can tap into within you. It's always available to you to draw from. And it can come in the form of people around you. It can come in the form of things that make you happy, people, places, things. It comes from within as well, right? It's everywhere all the time. An abundance of love always available to you. And I think you recognize that. This is a card about moving on or moving forward. I think there's something interesting about this harnessing of the seal. I need to tell you what I got through meditation yesterday. So I was listening to ocean waves. Interesting that I was listening to ocean waves, and now I'm using the mermaid deck. I think it's like there's rhyme and reason to everything. The universe knows, right? So the universe has given me this resource for this reading. I had something about now, some of you may know when I meditate, I imagine myself to be almost like a tree with roots that go into the ground and branches that go into the sky. It helps me receive messages. And I had this meditation where I was on a beach and I was trying to put my roots down into the sand, but the sand was shifting, right? As the waves come in, the sand shifts. You know, if you've ever put your feet in the surf and felt the earth getting pulled away from underneath your feet every time the surf rolls out. So I had this thing about trying to put down my roots as a tree, but I couldn't get a grip of anything, right? The earth was shifting. So I became a jellyfish, which of course is like clear and transparent. Now in meditation yesterday, so this would have been Monday, I was thinking, well, how do you make this ground solid, right? I think I've had this meditation before, like how do you make this sand solid? You heat it up, it'll turn into glass, right? So I had this thing about a lightning bolt coming down, almost like a lightning bolt coming down, hitting the beach, and the kind of bolts of lightning kind of like splintering out, just like how the roots of a tree would, right? And it becoming firm, right? So it's almost like basically it was like a tree made of glass on the beach, and it was solid and it was firm, and it's like that's how you plant your foundations. That's how you put your roots down through lightning, through energy, and through intense heat. I don't fully understand the metaphor yet. It's a brand new message that's coming that I'm still kind of processing, but it feels like there's something to it. Just because it kind of looks like this tree that I could see, it kind of looked like ice as well. It was like lightning, but it kind of froze like ice. So it was very beautiful. I just can't, and then this is ice. So temperature, hot and cold. I had a dream about a fish that I used to own. It was well, you can't own a fish, right? But I used to care for a fish. So it had this massive tank, and it was a big fish like this. It was like a piranha. It was massive, and it was really aggressive. So every time I went to feed it, it was trying to leap out of the fish tank. It was like a constant fear of mine that this fish would leap out of the fish tank, and I'd have to like grab it and then put it back in. But what if I grabbed it, like, I knew I had to wet my hands, because if I grabbed it with my hands dry, it'd take the scales off, and it was like this constant anxiety and fear of mine. So I had this dream about this stupid fish I used to own, and it getting out of the tank, and like having to, like, I kind of wrapped it up with I had some like ice and like a wet cloth, but the wet cloth was hot, which I didn't realize until I put it on it. And then I was trying to put it back in the tank, but all the water had gone out of the tank. So again, there seems to be this message about hot and cold, or temperature. My friend was talking about alkaline, like an acidity, like the alkaline and the acidity of the soil or the water. I don't know. Just Aries had this thing about like the earth. So I don't know if that message is coming back up. I am waffling, but it's all coming out in your reading, so I assume it's a message for somebody, right? The temperature of the water is frozen here, so harnessing this thing that you've lost in order to pull you forward or to drive you forward. It's like turning loss into motivation to move forward, to move on, but to move on with it, right? It's harnessing it. It's harnessing the grief and using it as a catalyst to move forward. And there's something about the changing environment as well. Like, he can do this because the water's frozen, right? Maybe I'm going ice skating this week. Okay. And then justice is like court systems. You can't handle the truth right. The pen is mightier than the sword. The scrolls are... Yeah, there's definitely something about things that are not being said. So the sword is like the sword of truth. So if it's raised, it means that somebody's communicating a truth. And it's also logical thought as well, and reasoning. So communication, logical thought, and reasoning. The scrolls are kind of wrapped, and it does make me think of sometimes the high priestess is holding a wrapped scroll in her hand. So again, this energy of Libra and Scorpio combined, of this kind of intuitive high priestess based, like, it's almost, it came through in one of the readings as like Sherlock Holmes energy of somebody who's very, very logical, very intelligent, and yet they've got that emotional, intuitive awareness as well, like social, like they can read social situations and draw evidence from that and turn that into logical facts. It's like a whole Sherlock Holmes thing. But again, the scroll is wrapped because there's secrets there, right? There's secrets that are wrapped up. So it's almost like an equal balance almost. I mean, it's slightly not equal. I'd say this is slightly more raised than this one, but it's like this balancing act between truth and secrets. Like, you've got this secretive energy here as well, just to remind you. Yeah, truth and secrets. What do we say? What do we not say? If we give them this information, it could harm them. It reminds me of like Greece, like olden day philosophers saying, I think it was like Plato. It could have been like Socrates, Plato, that kind of group of Aristotle. I don't think it was Aristotle though, from what I remember. And it was like they were having these discussions about should we be teaching the children these stories? Should we be allowing the children to engage with these stories of heroes because it's teaching them bad things, right? Should we teach them the bad things? And it's like, well, yes, because you're actually teaching them morals. By teaching them the bad things, you're teaching them how not to be bad. So I don't know if there's some kind of discussion like that happening with, what you can and can't teach children. Again, the news is coming through, It's like the decision that I was making last week when the cat passed away. We had this decision of, um, do we cremate her? Do we bring her body home? And because we weren't with her when she passed away, we brought her body home and gave the children the option to spend a little bit of time with her. She just looked like she was sleeping. She was really peaceful. Um, and we said, you know, do they want to say goodbye? Do they want to kind of stroke her and say goodbye properly? So it's that kind of thing. It's like, but then of course they're getting very, very close to death. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Is that going to be really traumatic for them, or is that going to help them to process? So all these like weighing up of what do we engage with, what do we not engage with? Do we want the truth, or are we better off, you know, being in sort of innocent silence? That kind of thing seems to be coming through. That King of Wands is an energy of you. This is Leo energy. So it's stepping back into yourself after, I want to say again, not getting over grief, right? Not allowing loss to sink you down with it, but tapping into that unconditional love that's not going anywhere, you know, the spiritual love, and holding that and moving forward with it, right? Not letting it go, but harnessing it and using it as a power source for you to move forward in the future. Not sure what justice is, but we'll figure that out. And then this is you actually getting back into your own strength, getting back in your game, getting your mojo back, coming back into your own power to lead people, right? Like I'm getting like, get behind me, Satan, I don't know, like to lead people to be that, shining light that people need, right, when the darkness comes, and to be passionate, and to really use that, your life experience, as fuel to lead the way for others. So I really like that you're ending with your energy. I may just have to speed up slightly. Where's my other phone? Because I've got a lot of missions today. Right, 5 of Cups. So this is your energy, I want to say, but do flip it and reverse it if you feel like you need to. I'm going to get environmental energy, so things that are impacting your energy. 5 of Cups, Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. So it feels like you've got a new opportunity. You probably are accepting this new opportunity, or considering it. If there's a new opportunity, this could be causing you to move into a different situation. Like accepting this means you have to say goodbye to other things. So it could be a really good work opportunity, you know, something that you've always wanted. I've just realized I've got foundation all over my hands. I'm sorry if you've noticed that. Like a really good work opportunity, and it means you have to say goodbye to your colleagues from your past job, but it's like this is a golden opportunity for you. This is, you know, it's like the star, right? It's what you've always dreamed of. This is what you've always wanted. But it does mean that there's a loss as you say goodbye to the people from the past, or the job from the past, right? And you could have really enjoyed that, but it's time to move on. It could be an example of, okay, I live in this place, you know, it's expensive to live here, it's a big city, I don't know if this is the best place for my children, it's, you know, there's congestion, there's smog, maybe I'm going to go and move to the countryside where, you know, instead of having like a 2-bedroom flat, we can get a 5-bedroom house because house prices are cheaper if we move out of this, you know, expensive area. It's like I can make my money go further if I go in there, but oh, I'm going to really miss living in the city, I'm going to really miss having like a Starbucks on the corner, that kind of thing. So it could be a lot of different things, but the Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity, a real opportunity, and some of you could be missing it because you're focused on the past. Okay, so do lift your head up and watch for those opportunities that are around you, because you don't want to miss this because you're so stuck in the goodbyes, right? Ace of Cups, yeah, Knight of Pentacles. So I love this. This is I'm so sorry, excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold. So this is progression. This is the idea, right? This is the initial seed of opportunity that comes in. The Knight of Pentacles has done some planning. He's done some figuring out. It's a very slow moving, step-by-step effective energy, right? It's like the turtle that wins the race, which actually came through. I was playing with these cards and the turtle came through with a message for somebody of slow, steady wins the race, right? If you take your time, if you do it right, you are guaranteed success. It's just, you're doing it like the long road, right? You're doing it like the slow and steady and long-term way, rather than the flash in the pan, like instant success, 5 minutes of fame. This is like this is like long haul, like Taurus energy to me. It could be Virgo as well. So yeah, this is like, it feels like you've already done the planning. Like maybe you're waiting for this to come in. You've already planned what you were going to do when you got this opportunity. I'm saying you, it's like somebody around you, right? It's environmental. So when this money came in, it's like the plan was already there. So you can instantly get into action, right? Instantly, like getting on the horse and plowing the field, right? It's like we've already bought the field, or we already know the plot of land that we're going to buy. So when the money comes in, we can buy the seeds, we can buy the land, we can do this, right? So it's like instantly getting to work in a very, very slow and steady, dependable way. Ace of Cups. Just having there's a lot of new opportunity here. This is actually a really positive reading. If we get over the Five of Cups, this is like new opportunities, positivity, like slow and steady, dependable energy. It's really, really good. Ace of Cups. So it is new emotions about something new and practical that you have the opportunity to do. It's like there's more love here. And it's not a replacement, right? I don't want to say it's a replacement. It's like you have emotional needs, right? You have emotional needs. So even if you have grief or disappointment or emotional loss from the past, we all need to tap into that Ace of Cups energy. You know, we're not robots, we're not machines. At some point we need companions. At some point we need projects that we can, you know, enjoy doing. We have to have like some source of love or enjoyment or happiness coming into us. Otherwise we just become a husk, right? So it's like, sorry, I'm just tapping into another dream that I had about zombies. Sometimes when I channel, I'm channeling what my friends are watching or playing. So if any of you have been playing zombie games or maybe even watching Stranger Things, like, yeah, I've been dreaming about that. You've got into my head. It's so funny. So it used to really freak me out. It was like, oh my God, is someone a murderer? And it was like, no, they're just watching a horror movie. Like, that's all it is. It's so funny when it happens. And like getting used to it, because I'm still quite new to this. So it's like, what's that thing? And it's like, oh, it's okay. The Fool, yeah, no, moving forward and taking a leap of faith into this. So you may have gone through, somebody around you may have gone through a phase where they've been very slow and steady. They are a planner, right? They like to really take the time with things. They like to really plan things out, figure things out, do things in a really step-by-step orderly fashion. And this is like a faster energy. This is Aries energy coming in, where it's like, do you know what, let's just do it, let's just go for it. And it may be that this person feels more comfortable like going for things, like jumping into things when they've made that stable base, right? So imagine like this is the beach, right? This is the beach. Here's the water, this water here. And this is a really safe, sturdy rock that's easy to climb up, right? This person's checked that rock out. It's, you know, it's not too steep. There's plenty of footholds and handholds. It's safe. There's no rocks in the water that they're gonna jump into. So they've figured out that the area is safe, right? They've come up with a strategy. So now they feel confident enough to jump into that water because they know that they can climb back out again, right? So it's like being able to take a leap of faith because you've laid the groundwork, because you've got a safety net, because you've got a backup plan, which allows you to be more free and childlike, right? I'm saying you, but this again is environmental. So taking a leap of faith towards something. Some of you could be going sledging or like something like that. I don't know. I'm getting this kind of like, it's like activity. I don't know if you're going like on vacation somewhere where you can do things like sledging or like jumping into water or ice skating or like, it feels like outdoor activities. Justice card. High Priestess, there she is. Yeah, what did I tell you? Libra and Scorpio together, absolutely 100% is what I've been picking up on. I can even show you, I'm just going to kind of cover up the other stuff. I can even show you my notes here, just to kind of prove that I was picking up on this morning. I wrote it down for Libra, but apparently it's for you, Leo. So there you go. Yeah, so knowing your truth, not necessarily speaking it. So again, she's got this scroll here. There's Bessie. There's Bessie coming out in the readings to say hi. Yeah, harnessing the light in the dark, harnessing both being the good guy and the bad guy at the same time. I'm going watching Bad Guys today, so yeah, funny that that should come out. Yeah, understanding that people are not heroes or supervillains. Again, Stranger Things coming back out. People are not heroes and villains, right? People are complicated. People are full of grey areas and complexity, right? We're all a little bit superhero. We're all a bit supervillain, and this is why when we watch a movie and we have those, charismatic evil protagonists who are doing the wrong thing, sometimes we think, I get it. Sometimes we can watch the bad guy and be like, yeah, I understand that. I definitely could be that person under the right conditions. This is why the bad guy is always so engaging to us. It doesn't mean that we're going to choose to be the bad guy. It doesn't mean that we're going to choose to do evil things. It just means that we all have that capacity, and we can emphasize. We can emphasize sometimes with the bad guy. What's it called? Not the protagonist. What's it called? There's a word for it, isn't there? Like the malcontent or the I don't know. And there's a purpose to this, right? I want to say that there's a real purpose to this as a human being, to be able to have compassion for the bad guy, because it allows us to figure out what their motivations are, like what is at the core of their behavior, and to use that as a blueprint for future situations where we can stop bad things happening before they happen, because we recognize the signs, we recognize the patterns of behavior, we recognize the warning signs, the red flags that people are waving at us to say, I'm sliding down a slippery slope here, help me, because I'm becoming the bad guy. And we can recognize those signs and say, okay, intervention time. What does that person need? Does that person need more unconditional love in their life? Does that person need a plan to get out of a bad situation? So it's having, and it's a very difficult thing to do, and not everybody can do it. And this is the blessing and the gift of the Justice and the High Priestess energy, the way it's coming through at the moment, of being able to play devil's advocate, or have compassion for the bad people, because it's a resource, it's a learning tool, so that we can change the future, right? Does that make any sense? But not everybody understands that. Not everybody understands sympathy for the devil, right? But you've got to have that middle ground. And this is the lesson that Justice and the High Priestess tells us. You've got to have the middle ground. You've got to have the advocates. You've got to have the people who understand both sides, so that you can draw people in. Because if people don't understand each other and you have two disparate groups who hate each other, it's going to create conflict. But by drawing in and finding the similarities and finding the compassion for one another, we stop the violence in its tracks. So there you go. I don't know. It's coming through such a strength, like this Justice High Priestess energy, which has been coming through for a little while, especially in Libra readings, a little bit in Scorpio readings, because they are next to each other, right? In the tarot, it's been coming through for them a lot, and it's now starting to really show up in a bigger way collectively. So I love that that's there in your reading. And tell me about the King of Wands. So Two of Cups. Yeah. It's like getting it, right? This person also gets it, because again, it's like you can't, when you're like this, when you have this gift of the Justice and the High Priestess together, when you're able to intuitively read patterns that are happening in the world because they've happened before, right? It's when you start to recognize the patterns of human behavior, cycles, political cycles, things that happen in the news. You start to say, I've seen this show before. So if you think about it in terms of like watching movies, right? A brilliant example would be in the early part of the 1900s, when film first started, they started to have these, especially sort of from the 20s. It was a very liberating time where women especially became much more sexually liberal. They didn't necessarily want to get married and be a little home wife anymore. They wanted to have their freedom and their own autonomy, especially in terms of like what they were doing with their own bodies. Give me a second. Just coincidentally, I stopped the timestamp there on 3434. So 3434 can mean something to you. It breaks down to a 7, and 7 is life path, destiny, those kinds of things. Yeah, so I feel like this is somebody who gets you, who gets you on that level. I can't remember what I was saying. I've probably been interrupted because I don't have that much time to kind of like go on a big waffle, but I'm sure it'll come back up again. Yeah, this is just somebody who gets it, or gets you, understands both your light and dark. Interesting, there's sharks on here. So sharks are purposeful. You know, they have a purpose, they have a focus. And that King of Wands, it's like you could be very a little bit ruthless when it comes to the things that you're focused on, right? You know what's important. You understand that sometimes you have to let things fall to the wayside. And it could be that some people are hurt by that. I'm getting Cancerian energy around you. But this person understands, right? They understand that you've got a job to do. They understand that you've got a focus. They understand that you're committed to things that you're passionate about. And maybe that does sometimes come off as being a little bit ruthless, but this person gets it, right? They could also be the same with the Two of Cups there. Also, just a reminder, the cups that are spilled over that indicate an emotional loss from the past. There's 2 cups still standing, and you end with your 2 of Cups, so the person who gets it, right? Ace of Pentacles and 5 of Cups. Ace of Pentacles and 5 of Cups. The Tower. Yeah, no, I feel like something, I'm hearing ripped away from you. Something could have been quite a shock. Some kind of news, some information, some kind of knowledge. Again, it's kind of this owl that represents this kind of Athena, Justice, High Priestess energy. The owl represents the High Priestess because it has these big eyes. It knows things. It's associated with knowledge, but it doesn't necessarily speak, right? And the Justice card, Libra energy, because it's kind of like Pallas Athene energy yeah, so symbolize with both of, again, knowledge, right? Excuse me, I'm sorry about the sniffles. So again, you've had a Tower moment, you've had a shock, you've had a loss, information, knowledge coming to light, news coming in, shocking, upsetting, disappointing, but it has opened up a new opportunity for you. It's like the tower falling, and as the walls crumble, revealing a room that you didn't know was there, right? It's like, I didn't even know we had this entire room. I don't think it's going to be that on a practical level, but it's that kind of energy. It's like, okay, this thing's fallen down, but it's revealed something else to me. Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. Sorry, they're telling me insurance. So for some of you, it's like some of you could have lost something and got insurance from it, which, again, if it's a person, that's not the same, is it? It's really not the same, but it's like a change in circumstances. Feels like the Wheel of Fortune, right? It's a change. So I don't know, it's what came through. I'm not saying it's good or bad, right? Ace of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, independence. Somebody's gaining some independence here in some sort of way. So again, whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, it feels like something you can invest. It's like, okay, now I've got money, I can invest it in something. Or now I've got money, now I don't have to work for that job anymore. I can follow my own interests. I can start my own business. It doesn't have to be that on such an independent level. It could be, I used to have to get the bus, but now I've got a driving license and my own car. So now I feel more independent because I don't just have to go where the bus will take me. I can go anywhere, right? So it's independence tied into something tangible and financial and real. Six of Swords and the Fool. It's really interesting on this Ace of Cups though. Tell me more about the Ace of Cups. Strength. Yeah, no, it feels like again, it's like if this person you've lost them, like they're on the other side, especially with this High Priestess coming out here. It's like being able to still sense them, knowing that love hasn't gone anywhere, like almost like being able to feel their love more strongly now than you ever could when they were living. It's like it's spiritual love. It's very powerful. Spiritual love actually came out with Lily. I don't know if Lily's a symbolic from this deck this morning when I was kind of pulling cards for how my day was going to go. So yay, spiritual love. But yeah, strength. Yeah, the strength from unconditional love or God's love, right? And the unconditional love for the self as well. So if this is internalized, if this is, I accept myself, you know, the bad guy and the good guy within me, you know, I accept my light and my dark, and I accept myself as a whole multifaceted human being, I have that unconditional love for myself, and I can draw strength from that, right? So however you want to put it. The Six of Swords and the Fool, please, for Leo. Whoa. Knight of Wands. The Black Cat again. And the Unicorn. The Unicorn came through with a very interesting message for my personal reading the other day. I don't know if somebody has a motorbike. Right, maybe I'll show you, because I'm puzzling over it, so I'm going to share it with you. So I got these cards in my own personal reading when I did this for myself, and it's like, I don't know if I've ever noticed before, but Death's riding a unicorn, right? Death's riding a unicorn. Death and the Chariot, taking control of death, taking control of an ending. This unicorn energy that keeps coming through of something that, even when there's darkness, they hold on to the light. It's like the light in the darkness. I don't know if anyone knows. I don't know. It's coming through something like a motorbike, you know, like the motorbike gangs, and like, I don't know, they were leather and skulls and crossbones. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. If anyone knows, let me know. Like, I'm like, what's that? Okay, so, but for you, let's just move death out of the way, because we've had enough of you. My reading's too much, mate. So the Eight of Wands in reverse and the Chariot. So again, no communication. The scroll is wrapped, right? Not communicating, because not everybody can handle the truth. And the Chariot card. So this unicorn energy coming through again, which again, at the moment for me is symbolizing people who, even though there's darkness in the world, even though they experience painful situations, even though they have suffering in their life, even though life is like really throwing lemons at them, it's like still keeping the heart open, still being able to transmute dark and create light from it. So again, just like what's happening here, it's like you having some kind of emotional loss, but harnessing it and using it as drive, right? As your purpose. And so, yeah, same thing. It's like, not everybody can understand this. Not everybody, you know, that's why the unicorns are rare. This is why unicorns are so unique and special, right? And you know, people don't believe in them. And yet they're showing up in the readings with this message of, it's like, shut the fuck up, excuse my language, and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep transmuting the dark into light. That's your superpower. But not communicating. So I'm not doing very good on not communicating, because I tell everybody everything. There's also something coming through when I was Googling unicorns, because I was like, what is this unicorn energy that keeps coming through? Yeah, definitely could be motorbike. Sorry, I'm getting like, get on my chariot or get on my stallion. Like, is that words for motorbikes? I don't know. But it's like I'm hearing come ride with me. It's like, if you look at the history of unicorns, there's some really funky stuff in there. It goes back to like ancient Greece and Mesopotamia, I can't say it, and things like this. And it used to be this wild, untamed creature. It was actually a really dangerous creature, very similar to like a dragon, right? This wild creature that people were scared of. Sometimes it was said to look like a horse, sometimes it was said to look like a goat. Yeah, so if you look at it, because it came up with like British coinage for me. So if you look at British coinage, it represents Scotland, and it's kind of like the wild landscape of Scotland, and kind of untamable character of Scottish people. You know, that fierce kind of warrior energy that is associated with Scottish people, again, throughout history and through, I don't know, Edinburgh on a Saturday night, you know. Like, excuse me. Sorry, still sniffling. So it's coming through this kind of like, almost like devil-like goat energy. So it's said to have cloven hooves. Again, look at the coinage. It's got this like, this mad tail and this beard. So it was never this beautiful kind of fairy tale creature from Disney. It was always this kind of almost like devil-like, wild, untamed creature, and the only way to capture it and the only way to tame it was said to be for a young virgin, a young maiden, to sit there, and it would feel comforted by her presence, and it would come over and lay in her lap, and this is how the hunters would catch it. So I don't know, there's something about there's this also a really famous I've actually got it in one of my decks. Let me just see if I can find it while I'm talking. So this very famous image of a unicorn that's kind of trapped and fenced in. So this would have been a brilliant a feat, right? This would have been a heroic thing to capture a unicorn, but also a unicorn shouldn't be captured. A unicorn should be free. So it was really interesting actually when I started looking at kind of the history of unicorns. So I don't know if somebody's associated with Scotland, British coinage. Here you go. So yeah, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Interesting that it says that actually. So that could actually, the way that they lead me to things, right? Time to take back control of your life. The Chariot is about taking control. Again, the Chariot is about harnessing two energies, the black and the white. Yin and yang, right? Masculine, feminine, and bringing them into alignment and taking control and having success and having victory. So really, really interesting stuff there. But maybe, you know, it's nobody else's business, right? Maybe other people don't get it. So doing you. And that the thing is as well, that unicorn could very, very easily get out of that. I think he is chained though. I think he is chained to the fence, but he could easily, I'm saying he could easily leap out over that fence. King of Wands and Two of Cups. Also, just to note, the Ten of Pentacles is lurking around here. So I think this is what somebody wants to create. They want to create this legacy. They want to create this stability. They want to create this home life. There's the owl again, Queen of Cups. Okay. Ten of Cups. Happiness. Yeah. Wanting to manifest your... Oh my God, you've got the two happiest cards in the deck together. Ten of Cups and the Sun. So the Ten of Cups is like the happily ever after. It's like the rainbows after the storm. It's like the perfect day energy. It's like life being like a Disney movie, and perhaps not forever, but at least for a moment you have the happy ending, right? At least for a moment you feel like you're in one of the amazing scenes in a Disney movie. It's like, I can't believe this is my life kind of happiness, and it's shared with other people. It's like, I can't believe I have this group of friends. I can't believe that I'm lucky enough to have these people around me. So it really is like, I can't believe I found my Two of Cups. I can't believe I found the people who make me feel like this, who get me, who make me happy, who give me a sense of purpose, who understand me, who understand my light and my darkness, right? And this, Leo, you are associated with both the King of Wands and the Sun card. So this is you coming in, almost like, you see how in the upper left there's this light, like it's the sun here. It's like harnessing the sun, harnessing the happiness, bringing more of that into the world, right? And being quite determined to do so, because it's fighting back against the darkness, right? It's fighting back against the plutonic energy, and saying enough of that, enough of that. I should say even here, the Knight of Wands. I didn't talk about this, but the Knight of Wands back here with the Nine of Pentacles. It's like giving the Knight of Pentacles a boost. It's like changing the engine in your car or on your motorbike. I don't know how motorbikes work. It's like, this, maybe getting a new car. Maybe it's like, I used to drive an old Volvo, and now I drive a Ferrari, right? It's like, it's the difference in speed. This is a big oomph from some kind of actual, like again, it could be money. I've got the money to buy a new car. I can drive faster now. It's got that energy to it. It doesn't have to literally be a car. Yeah, and then just absolute, like the most positive cards in the entire tarot, coming in with two, like you've got the best cards. You've got two cards that symbolize you, King of Wands and the Sun. So again, don't worry about gender, he, she, they. It's just the King of Wands has this real sense of purpose. They take action. They have a lot of drive, a lot of ambition. They know what they want to do and they go out and do it. It's very seize the day energy, carpe diem, right? And the sun, which is like an incredible power up. It's like a mega boost, right? It's like a fuel injection, of happiness. It's like my engine runs on sunshine. And then the 10 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. It's just having the right people around you who understand you, who understand your purpose, who follow your lead. But you know, it's not like it's not like these are your toadies, right? They match you. They're on the same level as you. They've got their own. It's like a king of wands and a queen of wands or something. It's like they get you, they understand you, they have their own power, they have their own methods, they have their own independence and you know, brilliant characteristics, but they just get you and they support you, and vice versa, right? It's a collective energy. So that is so cool. What a brilliant end to your reading. I do want to pull you an advice card. There was something else trying to get my attention there. What was it? I don't know what it was. Oh, my notes. What did I have written down? So, have you found your marbles? I was hearing sentences. Have you found your marbles? I don't want the limelight, but it looks beautiful on you. So I had this thing about being crowned, right? Being crowned. So I almost feel like it's you being handed a crown. Because this was coming through, this energy was coming through as like an advisor to the throne. You know, the power behind the throne, the royal advisor. And it's like, I don't need the limelight. You know, because High Priestess is like a secretive energy. Excuse me. My daughter is just in the room getting socks because I did say we have to rush off. But yeah, so it's this power behind the throne energy, the royal advisor. And this is like them wearing the crown, being given the crown, right? You are the one to lead us. It was coming through with, I can't remember his name, but it's Lord of the Rings. There's like the reluctant king in Lord of the Rings. He's like one of the heroes, that kind of energy. I also heard, yeah, I don't want the limelight, but it looks beautiful on you. And You Can Be the Boss by Lana Del Rey was coming through. So let's get you an advice card, and then I have to get dressed and we have to dash off. Advice card, please. Oh my goodness, that's too many. The waterfall could be particularly symbolic for you. One card, please. One card, please, for Leo, so that I can go and watch Bad Guys Birth. Again, I think this has something about England. So, yeah, I think it's like the Avebury Henge. And Wishes Fulfilled, 5 of Keys. Really, really beautiful image on there. On your underlying. Yeah, that feels like wish fulfillment. Like, I don't know what you're up to, Leos, but if you put the energy in the commitment, if you have commitment behind it and passion behind it, you're going to achieve it. And I don't know how long that's going to be, but it's like you're going to get your crown. I want to be a Leo today. Leos have got it going on.
I want to move, but I don't want to make a bunch of noise.
It's alright, you do what you gotta do. Oh my god, it starts with the sun as well.
I fell off the bed.
Nice job.
Have a nice day, Leos, I think.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, the sun shines upon a plain in England, where stands an ancient henge in the distance and a grove of birch trees nearby. Upon many of the trees is carved the old Celtic Ogham letter Beith, which represents the birch tree and stands for birth. A beautiful woman walks forward carrying a basket, while 2 children run happily towards her. With this card, it's time for a new start, perhaps an actual birth, or at least a metaphorical one. An old phase is passing away and a new one begins, but even this new beginning has its roots in your deepest histories and your past lives. Oh, I've got shivers. There may be some labour involved, but it's a labour that bears fruit. This card is associated with fertility, sensuality, and motherhood. There may be new energy in a romance, the family, or the home. You could be giving birth to a creative project too. Whatever it is, celebrate. Prepare for the wonderful growth and opportunities that are about to come. Close your eyes and imagine yourself stepping into the proverbial pregnant moment. Feel the creative forces popping and sparking within and around you. You have a huge amount of creative potential with the King of Wands here and the Sun. That's very creative energy, and this Knight of Wands here as well. What would you like to create with this energy? So it's like you've been gifted it. It's like the universe is gifting you. It's like the universe coming in and handing you like manifestation in a box. It's like, here you go, here's pure manifestation energy. What are you going to do with it? You can do whatever you want to do, but you need to put in that, need to have determination and passion for whatever it is, and be committed to it in the long term. Night of Wands can be a bit of a player. It's a little bit trial and error, figuring things out, a bit squirrel energy. This feels good one day, this feels good the next. But it leads to King of Wands, and the King of Wands knows exactly what they want and exactly what feels good and exactly what they want to do. They're very, very determined. So slightly squirrel, determined, right? And coming, it's like coming into your own, right? Coming into your power is how that reading feels. Brilliant reading, Leo. One of the best I think I've ever had for you. And of course, sometimes it takes a tower moment for us to, it's like a kick in the butt, right? It's a kick in the butt to get moving and to get serious. And I feel like that's what some of you have had. Definitely something about Scotland and England coming through as well. And I'm going to go. Do take care of yourselves. I'm going to go and watch Bad Guys. I will see you again soon. Take care, friends. Bye.